served 32 years, 2 wars. I was in Desert Storm, and I was in Iraq in 2008 for 13 months serving with the Marines in both cases. And I was there because I wanted to defend the values of the Constitution. I will die and defend the Constitution of the United States and not have any individual or administration usurp that right. And to me, I think we're on the precipice, on the very transition, the precipice of losing those rights. And I am here to defend those rights.
Welcome back to Scripps News Live coverage of the D.C. military parade. You heard it from the mouth of a soldier as the president celebrates the Army's 250th birthday in Washington, D.C. Lots of cities across this country are holding demonstrations against the Trump administration's policies and practices like the parade itself. We have Scripps News reporters that are covering the events from Denver to Richmond to Tampa and Philadelphia. And that is where we find Scripps News national correspondent Stephanie Liebergen. Hey, Steph.
Well, it seems really quiet where I am right now, but just a couple hours ago, this place was packed with over 100,000 people marching and rallying in Philadelphia for the No Kings rally. Really, the goal for them was trying to show that the power in America is outside the nation's capital. Drizzly Saturday in Philadelphia, the message was clear.
Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
Thousands gathered at the flagship No Kings rally to send a message to President Trump.
I'm afraid for our democracy. The man has gone off the rails. I was afraid of him the last time, and now it's every day. And guess what? They're coming next for you.
No ice, no fear.
But the rally started by recognizing the shooting in Minnesota, where 2 state lawmakers were targeted and shot.
We remember State Representative Melissa Portman and her husband, Mark Portman.
No Kings.
Speakers stressed their opposition to the Trump administration's use of executive power.
Congress has the power to pass budgets and taxes. We've got the power to create departments and spend money. We have the power to regulate commerce.
Is this America when tanks roll through our neighborhoods, but healthcare doesn't? Let me be clear. This is not patriotism. This is performance.
Show me what America looks like!
The people marching in the city of brotherly love said they're rising up for freedom.
I've been a Democrat, I've been a Republican, I've been independent. I believe in patriotism and our freedom of speech, our First Amendment right to, as you are a journalist, to report, as we are citizens to peacefully protest.
What's the biggest thing you want to see change?
I would like to see us get back to a little bit more civilized discourse where we're able to interact with folks across the aisle and respect our institutions, respect our courts, respect due process.
The people united will never be defeated.
Others are scared of the impact the Trump administration might have on them personally.
I married an American, and he died of cancer. He went to Vietnam War. And then we're worried about that veterans benefit, that they will take that away from us.
Money for jobs and education, not for war and deportation.
Over 100 groups, including Indivisible, Move On, and the ACLU, came together to organize Saturday's protests. The No Kings event in Philly was one of nearly 2,000 across the country, motivating millions to show up
The people united
and peacefully make their voices heard. The Trump administration's immigration policies were clearly one of the biggest motivating factors for people out here today when the speeches were happening on the main stage. Those remarks about the deportation effort, about immigration, about supporting immigrants, those drew some of the biggest responses from the crowds, Dell. Crowds exceeded the expectations of the organizers here in Philadelphia, and it happened across the country as well. But of course, important to note, at least here in Philadelphia and from what I've heard about other rallies around the country, Dell, peaceful rallies, no unrest, no violence to speak of so far today.
Stephanie, I'm fascinated by the faces that I see speaking out. We heard the soundbite from the person in uniform who said, "This is not the country that I fought for." And then the people in your package Average Jane and John Does who felt the need to come out and demonstrate today.
It really was an eclectic crowd here, a really strong crowd. We saw parents with their young kids. We saw people of every race, color, and creed supporting all different types of policies that they might be disagreeing with the Trump administration on. So really trying to send a powerful message to them and to everybody in the White House.
Stephanie Liebergen for us live in Philadelphia. Another protest taking place today, a No Kings protest taking place in Tampa, Florida. That is where we find Scripps News Group correspondent Michael Paluska. He is standing by live. Michael, what is the situation on the ground where you are in Tampa, Florida?
Hey, good evening, Del. Good to see you. Well, we just actually saw the most action we've seen all day. We started our morning very early in Largo, Florida, went to St. Pete. Now we're here in Tampa. Kennedy Boulevard is behind me. That is Tampa City Hall. And for the first time, we actually saw a Trump supporter or counter protester walk with a giant flag, Trump flag, through the middle of the crowd going that way, which he was immediately surrounded by people screaming, shame, shame, shame. TPD came out. It looks like they went over there, checked it out. That one person left. That's the most we've seen today. It's been extremely peaceful, and I'll echo what was happening in Philadelphia. We've seen people out here with their kids, young kids, babies, strapped to them with the carrying cases, families. We can take you through some of the video we shot earlier today. We take you closer into the rally behind me, but there's a lot of profanity and a lot of cursing. We'll spare our viewers that part of it. But in Largo, peaceful. A lot of old people were out there. We saw people with walkers. They lined the streets. They were getting people to honk their horns. Same thing in St. Pete. There was an entire intersection, thousands of people showing up. One thing I did witness with my camera while I was shooting a quick little scene setter was a Jeep actually did turn into a crowd that was crossing the crosswalk with the crosswalk for them with the countdown clock, and then swerved away and gunned it to look like to try to intimidate the people that were just crossing back and forth on the street. That was one thing I witnessed that was a little concerning. So we've seen some folks with the Trump flags going past protesters and screaming whatever they scream. But so far here in Tampa, we have a great community here, and what people I've been interviewing have been telling me is they feel like this isn't really a protest. It's them coming together. It's good for the soul, for them, for their politics, for how they're feeling. These nice ladies showed up behind me, and all of their signs are good to go, which is great. And this young lady told me right now that her dad actually fought in Normandy, D-Day, and her dad fought, and now she feels like she's going to fight with her protests. We're here live in Tampa, Del. Michael Paluska, Scripps News Group.
Michael Paluska for us in Tampa. Michael, thank you very much. Let's go live now to Denver. That is where we find Scripps News Group correspondent Adria Irahita. Adria, what are you seeing on the ground where you are in Denver?
Yeah, Del. Well, it's been a busy day here in Denver. People are fired up, and you're not seeing or hearing a lot right now. That's because the crowds, the thousands and thousands of people that have been here all day in front of the state capitol have taken off marching through the streets of downtown Denver. But when I tell you this entire intersection was packed with people, we've been out here since 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Now, and just to give you an idea of the size of this event, it kicked off officially at noon, but when we got here an hour before the start time, there were already thousands of people out here with their signs, chanting, and just hanging out here in the park in front of Civic Center Park. But people have been coming and going here all day. This particular gathering here in the heart of downtown Denver described as a peaceful, nonviolent movement of resistance. Now, at one point, a large crowd started marching through the streets of downtown Denver at around 1 p.m. our time before coming back here where they've gathered, and again they just took off right now. One brief moment of tension as well. At one point, a group of protesters broke off and blocked part of the road with others trying to keep the peace, because again, what a lot of folks out here at this particular gathering have told me, that's exactly what they want this to be. They just want this to be a gathering to show solidarity, to show support, to find that community out here. And another interesting thing to note, there were no speakers at this Denver protest, and organizers tell me they did this intentionally. Take a listen. Okay. And while the official No Kings protest is over in just a half an hour here, it's nowhere near over. That's because other unofficial gatherings are set to happen here throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. So, of course, we'll continue to be out here and keeping you updated on all the latest as it develops throughout the night. Reporting live in Denver, Adria Arhita, Scripps News Group.
Adria, thank you very much. Michael, also thank you, and Stephanie Liebergen for us on the ground in Philadelphia. 2,000 of those No Kings events taking place across the country.